Hey, game makers, game dev. Okay, the last time we got some momentum in. Okay, we can move left and right. So this drives me crazy because I'm like, I have my mouse, I'm moving around, and I go to move her with ASDW, and it doesn't work. So I have to over here with my other hand, and that's the arrow keys. We'll fix that later. So we got some momentum. She's a little slippery looking. It's all right. There's also we're using whole number position coordinates, which I'm a fan of. But I was noticing, and that like she hits the ground almost, and then kind of like stops and slides down, and it's kind of awkward. I don't really know what's happening there, and I was just gonna let it be, but it's kind of getting to me. So let's investigate this. My gut reaction is that this is possibly a side effect of the kind of uh, chasing that our sprite does. You know, our x and y are at our whole number coordinate, and then our sprite chases that whole number coordinate pretty quickly to stay in sync. So technically, our sprite is not where our object is. Speaking. Uh, in fact, I can exacerbate this. So let's do that real fast just to test. So the best way to test this is to draw the sprite where the character is rather than where uh, the draw where the object is rather than where we're drawing the sprite. So, I mean, we're kind of already drawing the numbers there, but let's go ahead and draw our collision mask because there's a collision issue. So drawing the collision mask would really. So let's do draw sprite, mask index, image index. No, let's just 0. X, Y. So that's drawing her right where she belongs, right where her X and Y is. And let's go back into the create event. And we've got this value that's going to change how quickly she approaches, the sprite approaches the object's current position. If we turn this way down, it's going to be probably not ideal, but it'll exacerbate any issue that might be caused by this. Okay, so now we can see she really trails behind. It's kind of cool, but not really what we doesn't make any sense. But so let's jump. Okay, so interesting. So see how the collision mask also kind of does that thing where it stops and then slowly falls. That's suggesting that it has nothing to do with this system. It's all about the collision itself. So let's set this back to nice healthy percent. Comment out the mask drawing for now. Let's go look at our collision. So it only happens in the V speed remaining, V speed, absolute value V speed. So we're moving one at a time. There's our direction. Checking V speed. Wait a minute. Oh, that's it right there. We're moving one pixel at a time in both horizontal and vertical. That's what this repeat loop is doing. There's no reason to check our current V speed. Just need to check one at a time. So I think that probably did it. There we go. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so while we're in here, the jump is pretty lame. I think I mentioned this at the end of the last video. You tap it, and she always does the exact same arc because I just say speed up, gravity's consistent, whatever. So most games like this, most platformers, Metroidvanias, whatever, platformers in general, it's pretty rare, unless you're an NES Castlevania game, to have a consistent jump arc. Just you hit jump, and that's the jump you're going to do no matter what. We usually have variable jump heights, and there are a dozen ways to do this sort of thing. So let's try at least one way and see how we feel about it. So my initial gut feeling is the longer you hold down the jump button up to a specific limit, she'll continue to set her vertical speed to her jump strength. like every step. So she's not being affected by gravity, in essence. And then when you let go or enough time has elapsed, she'll start to be affected by gravity again. So I don't want her to like drop immediately upon letting go. I want her to still have that arc at the top. So I think this will work okay. And then we'll mess with the animation itself because like this, it looks a little silly. So we'll mess with that. Okay. Was this, and let's go to our jump state. Create event, down, and let's go to our jump state. Okay, so right now in the jump event, in our true state template, as soon as the state's new, we say the v speed is equal to -5, which gives us our negative jump up motion. And then when we're on the ground, it idle. So we have no real input detection here apart from what's outside of the step event or outside of the state and step event for movement and collision. So it's up eventually too. So we just need to check if the jump button is still being pressed, which back here, yeah, key jump. So if key jump and give ourselves about what, like a second? Might be a bit extreme, but we can mess with it. If key jump and so true state has a nice little timer. Layer dot timer is less than 2/2 a second, so 30 frames. Then v speed will continue to equal -5. So that should be a quick way to do this. It's not perfect. There's definitely issues there. So we'll knock those out as we encounter them. Issue number 1. She goes very high. So the minimum jump is a bit tall. So -5 is probably too much. So let's change our jump strength here to like -3. Use that. See how that looks and feels. So 30 is probably too long. 3 might be too low, but let's kick this down to like 10. So like 10 frames of, I don't know, something's not feeling right. Maybe our gravity is too floaty. Maybe I need to increase gravity and jump strength as well, so it's a little bit less floaty. So there's our lowest right there. There's our highest. Let's try messing with our physics. Try messing with gravity, increasing that. Well, let's increase gravity to 0.3. It's our jump timer 0.5 and see if that feels good. Number by 5. So now she can hop a little bit. Cool. I don't know. Still something about it I don't like. I am wondering if it's related to the catch-up mechanic. Speed that catch-up sprite thing. But I've done this before in other projects, and it's never really given me problems with the catch-up. So I don't think that's it. It's got to be just like. So there's one problem. I can kind of double jump or triple jump or jump as many times as I want in the same state. So that's definitely not going to fly. No matter what we do, having the ability to say within those first 15 frames, tap the button as many times as you want to just keep going. You want to keep track of if they've let go of the button, they don't get to keep rising up. So bare minimum, we needed to do that. And there also could be something about the animation. It's kind of throwing me off as well. So maybe fixing the animation will help the jump feel better. And then we can tune it after that. So let's fix the first thing. We don't care if key jump is held so much if they've already let go once. So we need to keep track if they've let go of jump at any point during this state. So the first thing we want to do is say, I'm going to keep track of a variable that is specific to the state. So I can do that in true state just by tacking on properties onto the layer. So I can just say layer dot has let go of jump equals, well, I can just check key jump. So if somehow they've gotten into here and they're currently not holding down the jump button, which seems unlikely, then this would be set to false. So we need to invert this. So if they are currently still holding down the jump button, which is likely, then, actually, that's a good question. Or we, okay, so yeah, we're checking the jump key, just checking, so perfect. So if they have let go of the jump button, which is key jump is no longer being pressed, then we care about that. So if at any point during this, if layer dot has let go of jump, we say not. So if they haven't let go of jump yet, and not key jump, so as far as we know, they haven't let go, but the controller is just now, or the keyboard or whatever is telling us, hey, they let go, then we're going to say has let go of jump equals true. Now, we only care about this raising up if they have not let go of jump, and they're still holding jump, and it's before 15 frames. So now, run this. Shouldn't be able to tap whatever. Yeah. But I can still hold it down and she goes up. So we'll mess with these physics later. Let's get some animation going. Let's get this, see what sprites I have. It's been a while since I've been inside the animations. Let's see what we got. We've got jump, we've got fall. Cool. We got double jump. I don't think we're going to do right now. Flip. Jump to fall. A little transition frame. Then and no, I mean, I guess if we wanted to do a land from a deep, from a long fall, we could just fall into crouch or something. So let's hook up this. Let's go back to here. Let's hook up these two sprites. So our sprite index is sprite rogue jump. Start, and as we go, we want to check our v speed. If our v speed is close to 0, we want to be transitioning, and if it's negative, positive, we want to go to fall. So we could do this in the draw event, or we could do it in the step event. That doesn't really matter. We'll do it in the draw for now. So if this, so I want to get the distance from 0. So let's get v speed, which is just v speed. Distance from 0. So if absolute value of v speed is less than 1, maybe even 0.5, so just right around 0. We might tune this. We're likely to tune this. Then sprite index equals sprite vogue jump to fall. Jump to fall here. Okay, else if v speed is greater than 0, I mean falling, and then finally index equals sprite okay. So we prioritize our jump to fall. We're in that range, then we want to be in those frames, and then we prioritize. Are we greater than 0? Then we're falling. Otherwise, the default is sprite. Technically, I don't need this up here anymore. We're going to set it in the draw event right before we do ourselves. Let's see if that looks and or feels any better. Hopefully, it looks better. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And you know what? It kind of did help it feel a little better. The 0.5 is a little weird. Might need to still not right. This is the problem. I don't have a ton of experience with platformers, so making them feel good just isn't something I have all the tools to mess with. I might have to go and play like Super Metroid or Hollow Knight and get a feel for how those jumps work. Let go of the button really fast or hold the button for longer. Get an idea. And I may come back and tune this some more, but I don't want to dwell on it too long. This is one method to do it if you want variable jump heights. 0.5 it's kind of working for me. It's a very quick transition, but it works. So there we go. So now we've got variable jump heights. Anything else I wanted to kind of over here? See how it looks with here. Let's go to our room. And some collision up. Around. Okay. Now while we're here, let's this is bothering me. Well, we don't have a fall state thing. So let's fix that. So let's create a new state. Let's go. It's going to be similar to jump. I'm going to create that. The first fall. I do all of our bookkeeping stuff for adding a new state. So player, create event. We got to define the state. Call it fall, even though I don't really need to. It's fine. Fall. We need to give ourselves a new room. Okay. Now let's go and mess with that. So image index is 0. We don't want to mess with the V speed. We're just going to let gravity do its thing. We don't care of letting go of jump or any of this. On ground. And really, we don't even care about this. It's just in falling. We know we're falling, so that. Zero, don't care about jump strength. Okay, the state itself is fairly simple, but now we have to get in that state. So the way we're going to do that is in our... We shouldn't have to do it in our idle event since we're not moving. So I think the only place we really need to put it is in our walk state. So if in our walk state we are not on ground, then, or more specifically, so if we look at ground, how do we set on ground? So on ground is false. Set it to true whenever we collide with something. So this isn't strictly speaking accurate, because if we hit the ceiling, we're not on the ground, we just collided with the ceiling. So kind of don't like this. Against wall is kind of cool. It's like we could actually keep track of, are we against the wall to the right or the left. So let's fix this. Let's make against wall on ground. Let's unite these. Let's make these one against wall variable, and they're going to have a property for ori, which is false, and vert, which is actually, let's say 0. And we'll use our typical GM coordinate system. Ori, -1 is left, +1 is right, vert, negative number is up, positive number is down. So on ground would essentially be against wall dot vert equals 1. If that's true, then we're on ground. So we're going to get rid of these. We don't need these. Against wall, go into our step event. Wall equals, wait, we can initialize this every time. So before we do our movement and collision, which come back through here and extract this into a function. So this code. Now we can say against wall dot hori equals dir. So now it'll be -1 or +1, or it'll be 0, which is what we set it up here. And down here, instead of on ground, definitely before the dir, say against wall dot vert equals dir. So now we know all 4 directions. Are we against the wall left, right? Are we against the wall up, down? Now we know. It's really easy to work with. So let's check that in our player state walk. So if our against wall dot vert equals 0. So if it's 0, that means we're not colliding downwards. So we're not on the ground anymore. We need to go to state switch state.fall. And yeah, I like these one-liners to brackets because it's clean. Okay, let's see if that works. Oh, still using on ground somewhere. Where are you at? Oh, right, yeah. So if against wall dot vert equals 1, and dot vert equals 1. Not exactly what I had in mind. It almost works. Just when I'm walking, it doesn't. Hold on. Okay, so something is clearly wrong. I must not be applying gravity if I'm moving forward. Is that a thing I do? Okay, let's walk through it. Say against wall, 0, 0. Now why would vert stay 0? V-speed plus equals gravity. Oh. So if our gravity hasn't increased our v speed past 1 yet, then we're not going to detect, we're not going to move down and hit the wall and set our against wall vert to dir. That is a problem. I really don't want to do like a place meeting xy plus 1 thing for my on ground check, because it should be unnecessary, but right here is showing that it might be. I mean, I'm sure there's a more elegant way to handle it. It's just kind of in me right now. But elegance isn't everything elegant. I'm just trying to do something clever, and it bites you. It's okay. You just go back to what works. Fine. Fine, you win, game. Your programming, whatever. On ground equals false. On ground equals tile meeting x, y plus 1. Layer collision. Okay, you win. Go through where was that? Against wall dot vert. If ground on ground, not on ground. All right, whatever. Guess I'll need to revisit that whole against wall thing. It should still work for horizontal and vertical, but gravity throws a wrench in all. So let's. Okay, there we go. So now she'll walk off, immediately go into a little fall state. That looks nice. We still have a variable jump. Let's see, is there anything else we want to do while we're in here? Could do some coyote timing. Coyote timing's kind of fun. Doesn't have to be fancy. So we can just go into the fall state. Let's see. State. And we can say if key jump and layer.timer is less than 5, 10, then layer.state switch, state.jump. That easy. There, now we got coyote time of 5 frames. Not much, but let's exaggerate it, right? Let's make it really easy to do. There you go. You got seconds of coyote time. A bit excessive, but it's always good to test with extreme numbers. You just want to make sure that the logic works, then we can tighten it down. And so I'm going to walk off this edge. There you go. So yeah, if I'm falling, jump right after. So should do like this. All right. So let's go back into that, set it to 10 and see how that feels. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so there's something else we didn't notice. We didn't have a ceiling. As soon as I hit the ground, it should behave, or hit my head on the ceiling. It shouldn't be able to hold the space bar down. That's kind of weird too. I don't really like the whole responding to the jump button being held. Just like I can just hold the space bar down, she just bounces all over the place. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's fix carry time looks good. Let's fix banging our head into the ceiling should count as letting go. Let's see. It's in jump. So if layer head let go of jump and key jump or against wall dot vert equals -1. That might work. Get to use it. Yeah, okay, so yeah, it doesn't matter. She bonks her head and she just drops, which, as it should be. Okay, so yeah, there's some other issues with like holding down the space button, jump. The thing I was complaining about before about not being able to control with ASDW and having to use the arrow keys. There's some control issues. I don't really like how the controls are implemented. So let's fix that next time. Let's bring in my complete control asset, and we'll hook up multiple keyboard configurations, controller configurations, so I can use a gamepad if I want, and refine the controls so that we respond better to tap versus held versus all sorts of. So we'll do that next time. But of course, before we do that, good. Got our new fall state. Okay. Variable jump heights, fall states. Yeah, that's good enough. Set up. Safe. Computer can explode now. Right. Now we'll go on to next time.